All right, now this morning we are zoning in on the importance of healthier food options in schools and the implementation of the National School Nutrition Policy, courtesy of the Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, UNICEF, and the Heart Foundation of Jamaica. Joining us this morning is the Policy and Advocacy Coordinator of the Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, Chanel Allen, and Advocacy Officer and Nutritionist at the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, Rosanna Pike. Welcome to Sunrise, where the fun rise, and I see you're smiling, so you're ready to tell me all about Jayan.
Oh, yes.
Is J-Y-A-N or just Jayan?
J-Y-A-N, Jayan.
Jayan.
Yes.
All
Short
right.
for the Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network.
Yes. Awesome, awesome. Good thing I can spell it, man. J-Y-A-N. Can you provide an overview of the National Nutrition Policy and the objectives?
Okay. All right, thank you. So the National School Nutrition Policy, we're advocating for its finalization and implementation for September 2024. And the policy essentially is looking to regulate the school food environment to ensure that our students have healthier options in school, but not only to ensure that they have healthy options, but also to ensure that there is physical activity, because typically we understand that physical activity ends at third form. Yeah. So we want to ensure that it goes up to at least grade 13, which is upper sixth form. Also to ensure that our students have knowledge to make better nutritional decisions. So the school nutrition policy isn't just we're giving them healthier options to eat, but also equipping them with the knowledge so they can make those decisions themselves when they're outside of school, and also to ensure that they're physically active. A sort of multi-pronged approach to tackle the rising NCDs and obesity that we're seeing in our children.
Absolutely. In school, I liked that subject, PE. I call it PE, physical education. When PE time, I get ready, I get excited, and I want to play. You know?
I like the lunchtime.
You like lunchtime?
And that's the thing, you know, that as you were saying earlier, and I'm sorry to jump in, but it's like, what are we're not having enough options available for kids. So I joke all the time that my kids could never even buy a fruit at school, even if they wanted to, maybe, you know. And certainly when I went to school, I think maybe now they maybe could. But when I went to school, it was
limited
back juice, Kisco, fried chicken, meaning and sweets galore.
Right.
So, you know, are you doing more to make sure that even like you said, I like the way that it's a multi-pronged approach. It's like, hey, we're going to teach you a better way to eat. We're going to also hopefully provide better things for you to choose. Yes. Yeah.
And
it's a serious problem.
Yeah. And specifically, what role does JYAN Jan plays in achieving this?
Well, I mean, I could go on Jayan's role in this for hours. Yeah. But generally, we're advocating. We're acting as the youth voice in this conversation. And so we've been writing letters to the editor. We've been writing our ministers. We've been ramping up our advocacy, calling for the school nutrition policy, understanding what's been happening in schools. And our children need this kind of intervention. And I heard you talk about the statistics this morning from Dr. Susan Winter, and she was sharing with us yesterday that there is an increase in obesity and NCDs among our children, and so we need this kind of intervention. And so JN sees the importance of this kind of intervention, and we've been advocating for its completion and implementation.
Well, very, very good. Then please share with us some of the initiatives and programs that you have implemented or initiated.
All right. So yesterday we had our editors forum where we had a conversation about healthy food policies, including the school nutrition policy and front of package warning labels. Also and you were seeing on your screen where we went to Campion College last week, Thursday, to have conversations with the students about the school nutrition policy and what its implementation may mean for them. We're also headed to Manchester on Friday of this week to have conversations with 2 schools in Manchester, one in St. Catherine. We're headed to Clarendon on the 11th and 12th of April also to have conversations with students in those schools. And we also have a roundtable discussion coming up next week, Thursday, on the marketing of unhealthy foods to children, and another in April on the front of package warning labels. So we're doing our kind of work in this section of the woods.
I think a big natural fear too is that once we think of healthy food, it feels like is this going to be more expensive,
right?
And so that is something that, you know, has to be tackled as well, and showing people that we have options that are still affordable. I'm looking over here at our melon water. But like this, I mean, I'm hoping, Rosanna, you can give us some ideas of some alternatives that we could maybe offer our children. I hear you talking about high schools a lot. I'm hoping it's happening in prep schools too, right? Primary schools. Okay, perfect. Good. All right, so what do we have here?
All right, so right here we have our pineapple watermelon infused water with some ginger, of course. It's, as we said, a healthier alternative to the sugary sweetened beverages that we're often giving our children, because a lot of people aren't aware that, you know, just one juice box, a typical juice box has an average of 5 teaspoons of added sugar in one, and we're giving them like 2 or 3, you know, in their lunch kits going to school. And people are not aware of that. One of those juice boxes is actually their sugar limit for the day.
Wow.
So children under 18 no more than it's less than 6 teaspoons of added sugar for the day. So this is a healthier alternative.
But what about those juice boxes that say all natural or, you know, real juice? Those labels can be confusing, and do we need to, I mean, should we be paying more attention to that? Definitely.
So it's important for people to practice to read their nutrition facts panel. I mean, it might be complicated, and then there's the issue that it's not mandated across the region, not just in Jamaica, for that to be there. And of course, it may take some time to decipher, but at the same time, try to at least look through the ingredients list. And once you see the first 3 ingredients, if it says sugar, water, and coloring, you know that it's just sugar, water, and coloring that you're giving your child.
And if we could look at anything on that label, you said the top thing to look at are the ingredients and the sugar content.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Good.
I mean, like this, is there's a little melon, a little pineapple, a little ginger, and you have that at home, baby, you know,
right.
so
and
you can
if
just...
don't like the plain taste of water, I mean, it's a way, I always say, jazz it up, you know, and if you're sending them to school, get a nice water bottle, kind of use what we say, reverse psychology, get it customized for them if they like bedazzlements or, you know, get their name on it. And of course, it will encourage them to drink more, you know, water, and of course, they're getting the added vitamins and minerals from the fruit.
So what we have here?
So this is what we call our homemade trail mix. So it's an assortment of nuts, so whatever nuts they like, and dried fruits, so your raisins, your cranberry, given that they are not diabetic, because of course, you know, you have to watch the sugar content. And to make it fun, you throw some popcorn in it. So
a sweet and salty mix, why not? And then something I want to talk about as well is a portion control, like meaning I feel like kids are getting big bags of everything these days, and it's like, I say to my children all the time, that is a family size. That is not for one person.
Exactly.
So I think that's something that we have to pay attention to.
And you have to look at the salt content in those, you know, ultra-processed chip snacks or cheese snacks as well.
So do you think that another thing that we could be doing as well is maybe, you know, trying to send lunch instead of saying, hey guys, or at least packing our own homemade snacks? Like, what are some other things that we can do to kind of, you know, help our kids to make better decisions?
I mean, the first thing to remember, a child's world revolves around fun. So you try to get them involved in the preparation process or even the shopping process. And while they are learning to make, you know, healthier habits and preparing healthier alternatives, you are also teaching them the value of, you know, nutrition for their life, right? For better health and well-being. And, you know, try to make things as attractive as possible. So if they're, you know, you're making some mac and cheese, try to get some, you know, carrots, you know, try to get a cookie cutter and cut it in some stars or hearts and add it to the plate, right? Or if you have good knife skills, you know, turn your hand, make fashion, and you're good to go. And you teach them the value, and make their meals colorful and attractive, so it jumps out as them. As we said, their world revolves around fun, so you have to make everything.
And whole food and healthy food does not mean that it doesn't taste good. So
right.
There is that.
There is that, absolutely. And of course, with all these activities, this is absolutely good, timely too, for us parents. Although, I mean, speaking of timely, I'll talk about that after this, Tami. But what impact do you hope to achieve in these initiatives now after implementing these healthy programs? What impact do you hope to achieve?
In short, to save lives. In short, these policies save lives. These policies ensure our children have a better quality of life, and they are not losing ability due to NCDs. And I heard you speak earlier about losing limbs due to diabetes and other kinds of NCDs. So these policies are saving lives and their quality of lives. And so that is what we're aiming for, a sort of long-term. We're playing a very long game. We're playing a very long game at JN.
And we have to start to sow the seeds. Remember, sow the seeds of what we want to reap later on. So if we start to have the children healthier eating for them, then of course we have healthier adults.
Yes,
all right.
indeed.
I was Shani Allen, Policy and Advocacy Coordinator, Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, and Rosanna Pike, Policy and Advocacy Officer, Nutritionist, Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network. TK is on the standby and she's here with the news. Don't move a muscle. All right, thank you.
Thank you.